Hi. One of the things that we got on our farm share this week, this is Barbara Cavadius again. I'm the coordinator for the Morristown group of the CSG at Genesis Farm. And one of the things we got was a really nice, beautiful stalk of rosemary. And I really feel like it's time to make some rosemary oil. So what I've done is I folded it in half and I left it so that the tip is the brown, is the little bit of the stem. So I'd be able to later lift this out. But all of the green part is covered with olive oil. I happen to have some Kirkland extra virgin olive oil, so that's what I'm using. These, they look like a test tube, but it's a whole rack. You can buy them at IKEA, very inexpensive. They're great for making flavored oils. So I have filled it up with my organic extra virgin olive oil, and then you see there's a lot of little bubbles were coming up. It's really slowed down a lot because there was some air pockets on the rosemary. So I'm not putting the lid on right away. I'm kind of tapping this a little bit and waiting until most of the bubbles have kind of worked their way out. When I first did it, there were a lot of bubbles, but now it's really slowing down. I don't want it to oxidize in here, so I don't want to have a lot of air, and so I really want to get it out. I might wiggle this a little bit, shake it a little bit, see if you can kind of see there's just a few more air bubbles coming up. So I'm just going to wait a minute, but I wanted you to see. Now, one of the things that's important is that you don't want to start taking the you want to taste the oil after a few days, maybe even a week. You don't want to leave it in there for too long because it could go bad, especially if you start pouring the oil out and you leave some of the rosemary exposed. The rosemary will start to rot a little bit. It could even get mold in there, so you don't want to do that, right? So what you want to do is you want to leave it in there for a little while. If you want, you can put it in a sunny window. You don't need to do that, but some people do. I'll just leave it on. I have a corner here next to the stove. It's a little warm, so I'll leave it there for probably about a week, and then I'll test it. And if I like the flavor, I will take the rosemary out. I will label this so I know that it's the rosemary oil, and I will then start using it. I will not use it with the rosemary sitting in there, because that is how people get sick. So you don't want to do that. So after I think enough of the bubbles have gone, I'm just going to stick it down a little more, and I'm going to put the top on. It's a little hard because that's really, I may have to move it around. But that's how you make an infusion of oil, which is very nice. I wouldn't cook with it. You won't get as much flavor from cooking with a flavored oil like this. You'll get some, but it's better to use in your salad dressings or to pour on a plate with for dipping fresh bread in, things like that. Enjoy. Bye-bye.